I pulled into my parents' driveway in Scottsdale with my dear wife Sarah next to me, her hand resting on my knee. 40-plus cars lined the street. A catering van from Postino sat in the driveway, back doors open, staff unloading trays. Through the living room window I could see new patio furniture, teak wood set with navy cushions and a matching umbrella. A photographer was unpacking equipment by the side gate. I did the math automatically. Catering for 40 people at $30 per plate minimum, $200. Patio set, $500 easy. Photographer, $500 starting rate. Open bar. I could see being set up in the backyard, another $600. Total, at least $3,800. Last Tuesday, I'd wired my parents $3,400 for what Dad called an urgent property tax situation. The county was threatening a lien, he'd said. Had to be paid immediately. I pulled out my phone and texted Dad, "Party looks expensive. Property tax was urgent, remember?" Sent. No response. "You ready?" Sarah asked. "No, but let's go." We walked up the driveway. The front door opened before we reached it. Chase stood there, champagne flute already half empty, wearing a linen shirt that probably cost $120. He was 28 today, still living in Mom and Dad's basement. "Marcus, didn't think you'd show. Corporate slave got time off?" "Happy birthday, Chase. Did you bring the Sony 85mm lens? The one I texted you about?" I said no. He turned to his friend standing behind him. "See, I told you. Mr. Six Figures can't spare $1,800 for family." Before I could respond, Mom appeared, wiping her hands on an apron. "Marcus, Sarah, finally." Not a hug, not a smile. "The turkey is almost ready, but the gravy needs attention. You're so good at fixing things like that." Not. "Thank you for coming." Not. "So glad you're here, but you're useful." "Where should we put the gift?" I asked, holding up the card I'd brought. "Oh, just anywhere. Kitchen counter, maybe. I really need you to check the oven thermometer. I think it's reading wrong." Sarah squeezed my hand. She felt it too. The role. The function. The expectation that I'd arrived not as a guest but as unpaid staff. "I'll check it in a minute," I said. "Let me say hi to people first." I walked past her toward the backyard instead. The party was in full swing. String lights hung overhead. The new patio furniture formed a seating area around a fire pit I didn't remember them having. A bartender in a black vest was mixing drinks at a portable bar setup. The photographer was shooting candids of Chase with his friends. I stood at the edge and inventoried everything. Buffet table, Italian catering, prosciutto-wrapped figs, caprese skewers, pasta stations. $30 per plate was conservative, probably $35. Times 40 guests, $400. Patio furniture, I recognized the brand from a client project. That set retailed for $1,800 minimum. Bar, top shelf liquor. Grey Goose, Hendrix, Patron. Plus the hired bartender, $700 easy. Photographer. I saw a contract sitting on the bar table next to a stack of napkins. I stepped closer. Invoice. Professional photography services. Amount, $650. Paid by Dennis Reed. Payment method, credit card ending in 4782. I knew that card. I was an authorized user on it. I'd been paying the monthly bills for 3 years. My jaw tightened. Across the patio, Dad stood with Aunt Carol and Uncle Bob, his arm around Chase's shoulders. He was animated, gesturing, laughing. Chase basked in it, grinning. "Dennis, Chase's photography portfolio is incredible," Aunt Carol was saying. "I saw it on Instagram. Such an eye for composition," Dad beamed. "We're blessed. Not every parent gets an artist for a son." "And Marcus?" she asked. "How's his computer thing?" Dad glanced my direction, noticed me standing there. "Oh, he's fine. Makes good money. Stable job. Does the tech stuff for Adobe." No warmth in his voice. No pride. Just acknowledgement that I existed and performed a function. I thought about my 30th birthday 3 years ago. Olive Garden. We'd split the check 3 ways. I'd paid $47 for my portion. Chase's 25th birthday that same year. Rented event space at a vineyard. DJ, 80 guests, open bar. I'd found out 6 months later that I'd funded it. Dad had called in February claiming they needed $4,200 for emergency roof repairs. The roof was fine. The party had happened in March. Uncle Mark broke away from the group and walked over to me. Marcus, been a while. How's Adobe treating you? Good, senior engineer now. His eyebrows went up. Senior? That's fantastic. Congratulations. He paused. Your dad mentioned that? Not that I've heard. Huh. Uncle Mark looked back at Dad, who was still talking about Chase. He spent 20 minutes telling me about Chase's Instagram following. 10,000 followers, apparently. We both looked at Chase. He was taking selfies with the birthday cake, phone held high, face tilted at the practiced angle of someone who'd done this 1,000 times. Chase noticed me watching and walked over, drink in hand. So, real talk, Marcus. I need that lens for a client shoot Monday. You have a client? Potential client. Music venue downtown wants promo shots, but I need the 85mm to look professional. Are they paying you? It's spec work, for my portfolio, but if they like it, they'll hire me for the full campaign. So no, they're not paying you. His face tightened. God, you're such a corporate robot. Not everything is about money, Marcus. Some of us care about art, about creating something meaningful. Some of us pay rent, I said. Sarah appeared at my elbow. Dinner's being served, she said quickly, diffusing it. Everyone moved to the long table set up in the backyard. Marcus and Sarah were seated at the far end, farthest from the head table. Chase sat at the center with Mom and Dad flanking him like royalty. Dad stood and tapped his champagne glass with a knife. The sound cut through the conversation. Everyone quieted. Everyone! Thank you so much for coming to celebrate my son Chase's 28th birthday. Applause. Hoots from Chase's friends. 28 years ago, Linda and I were blessed with a child who sees the world differently. Chase doesn't chase money or status. He chases beauty, art, meaning. Things that matter beyond a paycheck. More applause. I kept my face neutral. Not everyone understands the artist's path, Dad continued. It's difficult. It requires sacrifice, not just from Chase, but from everyone who loves him and believes in his vision. My jaw locked. Linda and I are proud to support his journey no matter what it costs, because some things are more important than money. I did the math in my head automatically. Gallery failure, $100,000 second mortgage they'd taken out in 2021. Monthly mortgage support, $500 for 36 months on $54,000. Car payments for Chase's Jeep, $380 monthly for 36 months, or $13,680. Emergency requests, conservative estimate $26,000 over 5 years. Total investment in Chase, $193,680. Total investment in me, $1,500 for textbooks freshman year, which I'd repaid in 2014. Uncle Bob, 3 drinks deep, shouted from the middle table, "What about Marcus? He's here too. Say something about your other son." Awkward silence rippled through the guests. Dad's smile tightened. "Marcus, come on up here. Say a few words about your brother." Trap. I knew it immediately. But 40 people were watching, waiting. Phones were already out. I stood. Walked to the front of the head table. "Happy birthday, Chase. Hope 28 is good to you." I turned to walk back. Dad's hand clamped onto my shoulder. Stopped me. Hang on. While you're up here." He turned to face the crowd, keeping his hand on my shoulder like I was a prop. "Marcus here is our practical son. He's the one who makes sure things get done. The reliable one. The one who keeps the lights on, if you know what I mean." Scattered, uncomfortable laughter. My face went cold. "Stone, can we talk inside for a minute?" I said quietly. Dad waved his hand dismissively. "Later, son. We're celebrating." "About the property tax payment I made Tuesday." The laughter faded. Guests leaned forward. Dad's face darkened. "Not now. Or the mortgage payment I've been covering since 2021. Chase stood up. "Dude, what the heck? It's my birthday." Mom rushed over from her seat. "Marcus, please, this isn't appropriate." "When is appropriate, Mom? When you text me at midnight with another fake emergency?" Phones were definitely out now. Recording. I could see the little red dots. Dad's voice went loud. Inside, now! He grabbed my arm and pulled me toward the house. Mom and Chase followed. The kitchen door slammed behind us. Dad spun around, finger pointed at my chest. How dare you embarrass me in front of my entire family? Embarrass you? You just told 40 people my purpose in this family is to fund Chase's lifestyle. Because it is your purpose. You want the truth? Fine. Here's the truth. He stepped closer. I could smell the scotch on his breath. You and Chase are built differently, Marcus. You're logical, practical, unemotional. You don't need support. You just execute. You handle things. That's who you are. And Chase? Chase is an artist. He's sensitive. He needs nurturing, financial backing, time to explore his gifts without the stress of bills and rent and all the mundane nonsense that crushes creativity. On my money. On family money. We're a family, Marcus. Your success supports his creativity. That's how families work. Say that again. Dad didn't hesitate. Your job is to work. His job is to create. That's how this family functions. It's balanced. I pulled out my phone, opened the Notes app, started typing. What are you doing? Mom asked. Documenting this conversation, for my records. You're making a scene over nothing, Dad said. We asked you for help. That's what family does. We help each other. I looked up from my phone. How much help have you given me? We raised you. I paid my own college, $67,000 in student loans. Paid them off by 2018. I bought my own car. I pay my own rent. You gave Chase a brand new Hyundai for high school graduation. You paid his art school deposit. You took out a $100,000 mortgage to open him a gallery that failed in 11 months. He needed those things, Mom started. And I didn't? Silence. Just the hum of the refrigerator. Dad's face went purple. Listen to me, Marcus. You exist to pay his dreams. That's your role in this family. You make the money. Chase makes the art. We facilitate both. That's the system. The words hung in the air. You exist to pay his dreams. And if I don't like the system? I asked. Dad pointed to the door. Then there's the door. Leave. Mom gasped. Dennis, no. Dad's voice was steel. If he wants to play martyr, if he wants to hold his success over us like we're charity cases, he can get out. Chase crossed his arms. Honestly? Yeah. If you're going to throw money in our faces every time we ask for help, just go. I looked at all three of them. Mom with tears starting. Dad with his arm pointing at the exit. Chase with his smirk. This was the moment. The hinge point. The decision I'd been building toward for 5 years without realizing it. I pulled out my phone again, opened my banking app, started tapping. What are you doing? Mom's voice went shrill. Accepting your terms. Tap, tap, tap. Scheduled transfer for mortgage assistance, $1,500 per month. Canceled. Dad's eyes went wide. You're bluffing. I turned the screen to show him. Confirmation message. Transfer canceled. Canceled 10 seconds ago. Tap, tap, tap. Car payment for Chase's Jeep Wrangler. Due December 1st. 13 days from now. $380. You're on your own. What on earth, Marcus? Chase started. Tap, tap, tap. Joint checking account I'm an authorized user on. The one you use for groceries. Removed myself. Right now. Done. Mom shrieked. Actual shriek. Tap, tap, tap. Family phone plan. It's under my name. I'm canceling Chase's line effective Monday morning. I walked to the door. Stopped. Turned back. You said if I hate it, there's the door. I met Dad's eyes. I'm gladly leaving. Good luck paying the $180,000 I've been covering for the last 5 years. I opened the door. Sarah was waiting by the car, keys already out. Behind me, Dad's voice. You will regret this. I slammed the door. The sound echoed across the backyard. Guests were standing now, watching through windows, filming through the glass. Sarah and I got in the car. She started the engine. As we pulled away, I could see them through the kitchen window. Dad shouting, Mom crying, Chase pacing. and I felt nothing. No, that wasn't true. I felt light. Next morning, I woke to my phone vibrating continuously on the nightstand. The screen lit up again and again, buzzing like an angry wasp. 26 missed calls. I picked up the phone. Sarah was already awake next to me, scrolling through her own. Breakdown of missed calls. Dad, 11. Mom, 9. Chase. 6:19 text messages. 11 voicemails. Your Aunt Carol texted me, Sarah said, not looking up. Quote, tell Marcus to call his mother. Family emergency. There's no emergency. I opened the text thread chronologically. Watched the panic escalate in real time. Dad, 11:23 p.m. Answer your phone now. Mom, 11:47 p.m. Marcus, please. You're scaring me. Chase, 12:02 a.m. You freaking psycho. You ruined everything. Dad, 1:15 a.m. I checked the bank. You actually canceled it. Fix this immediately. Mom, 2:34 a.m. I can't sleep. How could you do this? Dad, 3:41 a.m. Mortgage due. December 1st, 2850. We don't have it. Call me. Chase, 6:52 a.m. My phone's not working. WTF did you do? I set the phone down. Sarah was watching me. Are you sure about this? She asked. I've been tracking every payment in Excel for 5 years. I knew this day would come. I opened my laptop. Found the file I'd been maintaining since 2019. Family, financial tracking.xlsx. 5 years of data. Every transfer, every fake emergency, every just this once request that became permanent. Gallery bailout, $100,000. Monthly mortgage support, $54,000. 36 months at Zon 500. Car payments for Chase's Jeep, $13,680. 36 months at $380. Emergency requests, $12,767. Total, $184. I exported the entire spreadsheet to PDF, named it Read Family Receipts 2019-2024 PDF, saved it to my desktop. My phone rang. Dad calling. I declined. Immediately rang again. Mom calling. Declined. Text notification. Chase. At least let me explain. Call me. I blocked the number. Then blocked Chase's Instagram, his Facebook, his email. Sarah got up and made coffee, handed me a mug. Let them panic, I said. She nodded. By 11:15 a.m., the family group chat was exploding. The chat was called Read Family Updates. 52 members. Aunts, uncles, cousins, second cousins, everyone. I scrolled through the messages that had piled up while I'd been ignoring my phone. Mom posted 9:23 a.m. Please keep our family in your prayers during this difficult time. We're facing a serious financial crisis due to unexpected circumstances. Aunt Carol. Oh no, what happened? Mom. I'd rather not discuss publicly, but we may lose our home. 10 comments in rapid succession. All variations of praying for you and how can we help and so sorry, Linda. She was baiting sympathy, building the narrative. Mom posted 10:47 a.m. For those asking, Marcus has decided to cut us off financially with no warning. We're facing foreclosure. Cousin Jessica. Wait, Marcus was paying your mortgage? No response from Mom. Chase posted 11:03 a.m. My brother threw a tantrum at my birthday party, embarrassed our entire family, and canceled all our bills out of spite. That's who he really is. Cousin Mike. What actually happened? Chase. He couldn't handle not being the center of attention for one night. Ruined my birthday. Ruined our family. Sociopath behavior. I read it all. Didn't respond. Just took screenshots. One after another. Saved them to a folder labeled Family Lies. You should defend yourself, Sarah said, reading over my shoulder. Not yet. Let them build the narrative. The bigger the lie, the better the truth looks when I drop it. At 11:34 a.m., Uncle Mark entered the chat. Uncle Mark. Dennis, how much was Marcus paying monthly? Dad posted 11:36 a.m. That's private family business, Mark. Uncle Mark. You just made it public by posting in a group chat with 52 people. How much? No response from Dad. Uncle Mark. I'll take the silence as more than I'm comfortable admitting. Marcus, call me when you're ready. I texted Uncle Mark privately. Thanks, I'll call Monday. He replied immediately. Good. Don't let them guilt you. I've seen the pattern for years. Sunday morning, 9:47 a.m. My phone rang. Mom calling. I answered. Put it on speaker. Sarah sat across from me at the kitchen table. Mom's voice came through, thick with tears. Marcus, please. We need to talk face to face. I'm listening. Can you come over? No. Marcus, we're your parents. Rustling. Muffled voices. The phone changed hands. Dad's voice controlled. Calm. The negotiation tone he used with difficult customers at his store. Son, let's talk like adults. Go ahead. You made your point Friday. We hear you. You feel underappreciated. I understand that. Do you? Yes. And we're willing to make changes. More appreciation. More acknowledgement. We can do better. In exchange for? We'd like you to reconsider the mortgage assistance. We can restructure it as a loan if that makes you more comfortable. Official paperwork, signed documents, legal and binding. Interest rate? Pause. Well, we're family, Marcus. Maybe 0% would be appropriate. So not a loan. A gift you're rebranding to make me feel better about it. His voice tightened. Why are you being difficult? I felt something go cold inside me, sharp and clear. Dad, do you remember what you said to me Friday night? I said a lot of things. You told me I exist to pay his dreams. Do you remember saying that? Silence. 5 seconds. 10. I was angry. I didn't mean... You meant it. You just didn't expect me to believe you. Mom grabbed the phone back. Sobbing now. Full breakdown. Marcus, please. We'll lose the house. Your childhood home. Where you grew up. All your memories. You'll lose the house you took a second mortgage on to fund Chase's failed gallery. Not my house. Yours. How can you be so cruel? I gave you 184,147 over 5 years, Mom. I was never cruel. I was a bank. And banks close accounts when customers stop paying them back. I hung up. Sarah reached across the table and took my hand. You okay? I'm free. Sunday afternoon, 3:42 p.m. Sarah was on her phone, scrolling. She stopped. Looked up at me. You need to see this. She turned her screen around. GoFundMe campaign. Posted 2 hours ago. Title: Help my family avoid homelessness after financial abuse. Photo: Chase with our parents. All three looking somber and defeated. Professional lighting. Staged. I read the description. My family is facing foreclosure after my brother, who has a 6-figure tech job, suddenly cut off all financial support with no warning. We supported his education, his career, and his dreams. Now he's abandoned us in our time of need. My elderly parents may lose their home. Any help is deeply appreciated. Goal: $50,000. Raised so far, 347 from 12 donors. Comments. Section: Praying for your family. Family should always come first. God will provide. But also, why were you depending on your brother? 3 upvotes. Get a job, maybe? 7 upvotes. This sounds like there's more to the story. 11 upvotes. I read it twice. Financial abuse. Abandoned us. Supported my education. Are you going to respond? Sarah asked. Yes. Publicly. I opened my laptop. Went to the GoFundMe page. Logged in. Clicked the comment button. Typed, Marcus Reed here. The 6-figure tech job brother mentioned above. Here are the facts. 1. I paid my own college tuition, $67,000 in student loans. Repaid in full by 2018. 2. I have given my parents $184,147 over the last 5 years. I have receipts for every transaction. 3. That $50,000 you're asking strangers to donate? I already gave my parents $100,000 for a gallery that closed in 11 months due to mismanagement. 4. At my brother's 28th birthday party, my father told me, quote, "You exist to pay his dreams." 5. I am not abandoning anyone. I am simply stopping voluntary donations. Chase, get a job. You're 28 years old. Posted. I refreshed the page. My comment appeared at the top. Within 10 minutes. 47 upvotes on my comment. 89 new comments on the campaign, most asking Chase to explain. Multiple people demanding receipts from Chase to prove his story. At 4:03 p.m., the entire GoFundMe campaign was deleted. Gone. Like it never existed. But I had screenshots. Monday morning, 8:15 a.m. I was making breakfast when my phone rang. Uncle Mark. I answered. I talked to your dad for 2 hours yesterday, Uncle Mark said without preamble. And? He's drowning, Mark. Second mortgage balance is still $98,000. Monthly payment on that loan alone is $1,450. Combined with the original mortgage, they're paying $2,050 every month on a fixed income of $3,400. I know, I've been covering the difference. For how long? 3 years of consistent monthly payments. Before that, sporadic emergency requests. Total over 5 years, $180,447. Uncle Mark whistled. Long and low. Jesus Christ, and they're mad at you? Apparently. Your dad asked me to lend them money yesterday. Straight up asked for $5,000 to get through the next 2 months. What did you say? I said no. Told him to sell the house and downsize to something they can actually afford. Pause. You did the right thing, kid. The hardest thing you'll ever do. But the right thing. My throat tightened. Doesn't feel right. Because you love them. But love doesn't mean being their ATM forever. Love doesn't mean sacrificing your future for their bad decisions. I didn't respond. Couldn't. Call me if you need anything, Uncle Mark said. I mean it. Thanks. He hung up. Sarah came into the kitchen, put her arms around me from behind. You okay? I looked at my phone. No new missed calls? No new texts? The siege had stopped. Yeah, I said. I think I am. Back at work. I set my phone on Do Not Disturb, but the notification badges kept climbing. 47 unread messages, 12 missed calls. Email from Dad at 7:42 a.m. Subject line. Urgent. Bank situation. Marcus, the bank called. Mortgage payment due tomorrow, 11/22, $2,850. Without it, we get 30-day foreclosure notice. Please reconsider. I archived it. Didn't respond. Tuesday morning, mortgage due date. Text from Mom at 9:15 a.m. The payment bounced. They're charging a $75 late fee. Please, Marcus. I typed 3 different responses. Deleted all 3. Finally sent, Mom, I'm not paying. Figure it out. 3 hours later, text from Dad. We withdrew from savings. Payment made this month. But we can't sustain this. Then sell the house, I replied. You'd let us be homeless? You'd have sale proceeds. Buy something smaller. You won't be homeless. No response after that. Wednesday afternoon, email from Progressive Insurance. Auto policy for Jeep Wrangler, VIN 1J4RW58N27C58942. Payment past due. Policy will cancel 12/1 without payment. Chase's car. I'd been paying his insurance for 3 years, $127 monthly. Another expense I'd forgotten I was covering. I forwarded the email to Dad with one line. FYI, Chase's car insurance cancels in 8 days. Not my problem. Thursday was Thanksgiving. Sarah's family invited us to their house in Tempe. Her parents, 2 sisters, brother-in-law, 3 nephews. It was normal, warm, functional. People passed dishes and laughed, and nobody asked anyone for money. Sarah's mom asked me halfway through dinner, "How's your family, Marcus?" "We're not speaking right now." Her face fell. "Oh no, what happened?" "I stopped funding my brother's life. They didn't take it well." Sarah's dad looked up from carving the turkey. "Good for you, son. Boundaries are healthy. Family doesn't mean being a doormat." I realized I'd never heard that before. The idea that saying no to family was allowed, expected even. Friday morning, text from Chase. New number. My phone got shut off. "Did you actually cancel my line?" "Yes." "How am I supposed to do work?" "Pay for your own phone." "I can't afford it." "Get a job." "Piss off." Blocked the new number. Monday, November 28th. Call from cousin Jessica at lunch. I almost didn't answer. Hey Marcus, I wanted to apologize. 4. Believing your mom's story without asking for yours. I saw your GoFundMe comment. Is that all true? $180,000? Yes, I have receipts if you want to see them. Jesus, I had no idea. Long pause. Your dad called me yesterday, asked if I could lend them $5,000, quote, just until Chase gets on his feet. What did you say? I said no. I have 3 kids and a mortgage, but he made me feel guilty about it, like I was abandoning family. That's his specialty. He's calling everyone Marcus, Aunt Carol, Uncle Bob, even my mom. He's going down the entire family tree asking for money. The family was fracturing. I could feel it through the phone. Tuesday, email from Aunt Carol. Marcus, I'm disappointed in you. Your parents are suffering and you're being vindictive. This is not how family acts. I read it twice, didn't respond. 10 minutes later, Uncle Mark replied all. Carol, Dennis asked Marcus for money for 5 years and got $180,000. Now Dennis is asking US for money. When does it end? The problem isn't Marcus. Aunt Carol removed herself from the email chain. Wednesday evening, Sarah showed me her phone. Mom's Facebook post. Public. When your own child turns their back on you in your darkest hour, you learn who you really raised. Praying for peace. 47 comments. Mix of support, confusion, and people asking what actually happened. Should I respond? I asked Sarah. Do you want to? I want this over. Then let it pass. People who matter know the truth. Thursday afternoon, text from Chase. Another new number. Dad sold his truck today. His 2019 F-150. Got $18K for it. He's driving a 2004 Camry now. Happy? Did he sell it to make the mortgage payment? Yes, because you won't help. He could sell the house instead. And live where? Apartment, condo, anywhere cheaper, like normal people do when they can't afford their current place. You're a heartless piece of crap. You're 28 with no job. Blocked the third number. Friday, December 9th, 2:47 p.m. I was in a code review meeting when my phone buzzed. Email from Experian. Alert. New credit inquiry detected. Chase Sapphire Preferred Card. Applicant, Marcus Reed. My blood went cold. I excused myself from the meeting. I didn't apply for a credit card. I hadn't applied for credit in 2 years. Logged into Experian, pulled up the inquiry details. Application submitted, 2:37 p.m. today, 10 minutes ago. IP address location, Scottsdale, AZ. Annual income listed, $185,000, my exact salary. They knew it because I'd told them years ago when they'd asked about my promotion. They were trying to open a credit card in my name. I called Sarah. They did it. Identity theft. Call the police. It's my dad, Sarah. I can't. It's fraud, Marcus. If you don't report it, you're liable for whatever they charge. They could max it out. $20,000, $30,000, you'd be responsible. I can't put him in jail. Then he'll do it again next month, and the month after that, until you're bankrupt. She was right. I called the Scottsdale Police non-emergency line, explained the situation, identity theft attempt. Credit card application in my name without permission. I suspected a family member but didn't provide names yet. Just needed a police report number to dispute with the bank. Report filed. Case number SC 2024-09847. Now the hard part. I downloaded the police report, scanned it to PDF, opened my email. 2. Dennis.read@gmail.com. CC. Linda.read@gmail.com. Subject, fraud alert, police case, SC 2024-9847. Dad, I received notification that someone attempted to open a Chase Sapphire credit card in my name at 2:37 p.m. today from an IP address in Scottsdale. I have filed a police report for identity theft. Attached. The bank has flagged the application as fraud. This is a felony punishable by up to 3 years in prison. If any additional accounts are opened in my name, I will provide the police with the suspect's full identity and press charges. Do not test me. Marcus. Attached the PDF. Sent. 5 minutes later, my phone rang. Dad, calling. I let it go to voicemail. Listened to it an hour later in my car. Dad's voice, broken, weeping, a sound I'd never heard from him before. Marcus, we're desperate. We have no food. The fridge is empty. I'm sorry about the card. I didn't know what else to do. Please. Just $100. Just for groceries this week. Please. I sat in my apartment that night on the floor with my back against the couch. Cried for 20 minutes straight. Not for them. For myself. For the father who used to carry me on his shoulders at the park. For the version of him that didn't exist anymore. That maybe never existed. But I didn't send the money. Because $100 now meant identity theft again next month. And the month after. Until there was nothing left. I had to be the wall. Not the door. Tuesday, December 13th. Phone call from Aunt Valerie. Mom's older sister. She was an accountant, did taxes for half the family. Marcus, I'm in Phoenix for work. Can we meet? Is this about them? Yes, but not what you think. Starbucks on Camelback Road, 4:30 p.m. Valerie was already there, corner table, manila envelope in front of her. Sit. I sat. She slid the envelope across the table. Your parents are being audited by the IRS. What? The gallery. Your dad wrote off personal expenses as business losses. Trips to Sedona, dinners at restaurants, Chase's car lease. He claimed it all as business expenses. Oh my God. Total owed including penalties and interest, $52,000. I felt sick. They're 3 months behind on the mortgage. Foreclosure notice was posted on the door last week. IRS put a lien on your dad's store inventory. He can't sell anything without paying them first. Why are you telling me this? She reached across the table and touched my hand. So you don't blame yourself when everything collapses. Pause. I saw your Facebook posts, the receipts. I did the math, Marcus. You gave them $180,000 over 5 years. You kept them afloat. You did more than any child should ever have to do. Tears filled my eyes. I didn't blink. Let them sit there. They lied to me too, Valerie said. Told me you were rich and stingy, that you refused to help out of spite, that you'd abandoned them over some minor argument. I believed them. I'm sorry. What happens now? They'll lose the house. They'll lose the store. Bankruptcy, probably. Your dad's talking to a lawyer. Should I help them? No. Her voice was firm. You save yourself. You get out. You build your life. Don't look back at the explosion. She stood up, hugged me, left the envelope on the table. I sat there for an hour after she left, staring at the IRS audit notice, the foreclosure letter, the lien documentation. The empire was collapsing, and I wasn't there to catch it. For the first time in 5 years, I felt nothing when I thought about that. Just relief. 6 months later, I sat at the closing table with a pen in my hand. The realtor slid the final document across. And with this signature, you're officially a homeowner. Congratulations, Marcus. I signed. Sarah squeezed my hand under the table. 3-bedroom craftsman in Tempe, $445,000. 20% down payment. $89,000 I'd saved over the last 18 months. Zero help from anyone. We walked out to the front porch. The house had good bones, original hardwood floors, built-in bookshelves, a backyard with a lemon tree. How does it feel? Sarah asked. Different. Good different. Half a year since the birthday party. 6 months since you exist to pay his dreams. 30 weeks since I'd walked out of that kitchen and never looked back. I hadn't spoken to my parents since the identity theft email in December. Zero contact, no calls, no texts, no attempts from either side. But I knew where they were, small-town dynamics. News travels through family channels whether you want it to or not. Uncle Mark kept me updated, though I never asked. The house sold in February, $380,000. After paying off both mortgages, the IRS debt, and lawyer fees, they cleared $47,000. They moved to a 1-bedroom apartment near downtown Scottsdale, $200 a month. Dad got a job at Home Depot in the garden department. Mom worked part-time at TJ Maxx, folding clothes and running register. Chase got a job at the Apple Store in January after Dad gave him an ultimatum: work or get out. He was still there. Uncle Mark said he hated it but showed up. $17 an hour. He lived with 2 roommates in Tempe, split rent 3 ways. $600 a month. His Instagram hadn't been updated in 3 months. Me? Promoted to staff engineer at Adobe in March. $10,000 salary. Bought a house. Sarah moved in last week. Engagement ring hidden in my closet behind the winter coats. Planning to propose next month at Sedona. Everyone survived. Without my money. Month later. I was at Safeway in Scottsdale, picking up groceries before heading to Sarah's parents' house for dinner. Cereal aisle. I reached for a box of Cheerios, turned the corner into the soup aisle. Froze. Mom and Dad. 15 feet away. Standing in front of the canned soup section. Dad held a store-brand can of tomato soup, squinting at the price tag. Mom had a coupon booklet open, flipping through pages. They looked smaller. Older. Dad's shoulders hunched in a way I didn't remember. Mom's hair had more gray. I had 3 seconds to decide. Walk away. Say something. Pretend I didn't see them. Before I could move, Dad looked up. Saw me. Time stopped. 5 seconds of eye contact that felt like an hour. His face cycled through expressions too fast to read. Shame, regret, anger, all 3. Mom noticed him staring, followed his gaze. Her hand went to her mouth. 10 seconds. No one moved. Then Mom took a step forward. Marcus? Dad's hand shot out, grabbed her arm gently. Stopped her. We locked eyes. Father and son. 15 feet and 6 months of silence between us. His expression said, I know what I did. I know why you left. Mine said, I'm not coming back. Dad nodded. Small movement. Barely visible. I nodded back. Then he turned back to the soup shelf. Mom followed his lead. They went back to reading labels and comparing prices like I wasn't there. I walked to the checkout, paid, left. Sarah was waiting in the car, scrolling through her phone. You okay? She asked when I got in. You look shaken. I saw them. She set her phone down. What happened? Nothing. We nodded at each other. That's it? That's it. How do you feel? Sad, but resolved. She started the car. We drove to her parents' house. I didn't mention it again. 6 months taught me things I didn't want to learn. Chase was still at the Apple Store. Uncle Mark ran into him at a coffee shop last month. Said he looked tired but showed up for his shifts. Got written up twice for attitude problems with customers but hadn't been fired. $17 an hour. 2 roommates. $600 rent. His photography equipment was listed on Craigslist. No buyers yet. Aunt Valerie mentioned he'd applied to community college for a photography program, using a Pell Grant. Maybe he was learning. Mom worked at TJ Maxx 25 hours a week, folding shirts, operating the register. Aunt Valerie saw her there last month and said she seemed lighter somehow, like the pressure of maintaining appearances had lifted. She'd started selling small watercolor paintings at the weekend farmers market, $15 each. She kept the money for herself. Dad worked at Home Depot in the garden department, helped customers load bags of mulch into trucks, got an employee discount. Uncle Mark said he looked humbled the last time they talked. Drove a 2004 Camry with 180,000 miles. It ran. They were surviving. Without me. Not thriving. Not destroyed. Just existing as normal people with normal problems. Normal jobs, normal budgets, normal lives. Me? Staff engineer. $10,000 salary. House with a lemon tree. Sarah. Engagement ring waiting in the closet. Savings account growing every month. Retirement fund on track. Stress level manageable. And no one called asking for money. Another month passed. Sarah and I sat on our new back patio. String lights overhead. 2 glasses of wine on the table between us. Do you regret it? She asked. Sometimes. Late at night I think about holidays we won't share. Grandkids they won't meet if we have them. But But then I remember what he said. You exist to pay his dreams. That still hurts. It does. But it was honest. For the first time, he told me exactly what my role was. And I had a choice. Accept it or reject it. You rejected it. I chose myself. We sat in silence for a minute. The string lights reflected in her wine glass. They're learning to survive without me, I said. Dad's working. Mom's working. Chase is working. That's not destruction. That's growth. 30 years late, but still growth. Do you think you'll ever reconcile? Maybe, years from now, if they acknowledge what happened. Not apologize necessarily. Just acknowledge it. And if they don't, then I have this. I gestured to the house, to her, to the backyard with the lemon tree. I built this, with my money, my work, my choices. No one can tell me I exist for someone else's dreams. Sarah smiled, reached across and took my hand. Because I'm living my own. The string lights glowed overhead. The lemon tree rustled in the breeze. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. And for the first time in 5 years, I felt like I could breathe.